I mean, Adam Walton. Okay, it's early days for him as an international, but
Yeah,
it wouldn't do him any harm to come on and just taste that atmosphere because he's a very good footballer. He's
yeah,
calm and belies his young years. Really, he's very very good. But yeah, I think it is a squad game, and I think any manager should utilise that to freshen up the legs. Bring on some players who are not tired out from running around for an hour. It's a high pressure game, and yeah, so I think substitutions are a key element of that. But
yeah,
let's hope we get continued luck and we win tonight, and then have a great situation on Sunday evening to
yeah,
watch.
yeah. I've booked my mate and I. We've booked some refreshments for Sunday already.
Nice,
Yeah, yeah, nice. Yeah.
good.
So I'm looking forward to Sunday. I've looked past today already. I've this one's in the bag already for us.
It might be optimistic, you don't know, but yeah, I mean, I think we'll win.
Yeah,
I think in a way, teams who win these international tournaments, they tend to start, shall we say, slowly and
yeah,
gradually, as they say, grow into it.
yeah.
So I'm fairly confident, and I shall keep this on until Sunday night when we win and lift the cup, the trophy.
Yes,
It's not
yes,
coming off. It
yes.
won't come off.
We'll
I
hold you to
believe that.
that,
You
Trevor.
believe
We'll hold
anything?
you to that. I mean, by Gareth Southgate's own admission, he actually said that we played better in the match with Switzerland than we did with other matches,
Mm.
and I agree with that. I do. However, I think that whatever he's doing or however he's doing it is working, and you don't mess with the winning formula. And I think that's why people, all his critics, he's gradually winning over his critics now, including my cause, whom I shan't mention by name.
Well, yeah, I said before, if we do end up winning this
Yeah,
on Sunday, you've got to give him a huge part of the credit, a huge amount, because otherwise we wouldn't, clubs wouldn't hire and fire managers. I mean, they want
yeah,
the best that there can be. And maybe Gareth is right for this sort of job where we haven't won a trophy well, we only ever won one international trophy. Maybe he's the right sort of guy who's a bit defence minded. He plods along a bit. He doesn't react and change things, whereas others might do that. And maybe this time that is the right approach to have. I think we've got to look for the positives in his approach. And the fact that we are in the semi final, you've got to say well done to him for that. I don't wholly agree if it ain't broke, don't fix it, because that would suggest that we all think, yeah, he's doing what most of us, what most managers would do. And I don't think he is. I think most managers would be doing much more, giving much more thought to the substitutions and when to do them.
mm,
And also, if he plays Shaw tonight, I should be well pleased because I think he should be there. But I have a strong feeling he won't. And
yeah,
that could be a bit of a mistake because I think Trippier on the left, good a player though he is, it's a bit vulnerable there to the opposition. They will pick up on that, and you'll see a lot more crosses coming in than you would on the other side. Perhaps with Walker and Saka.
mm,
So we'll see. And as I
yeah.
say, if we end up winning tonight and Sunday, yeah, I'll be the first to throw my beer in the air, throw my hat in the air, and celebrate.
Oh yeah. I mean, I watching the news after well, not well, yeah, after the game, and uh, and they were showing different cities in England, obviously. So they showed
Yeah,
Birmingham,
yeah, sorry,
and they showed London and then
Manchester.
Manchester, and and it was just a beer going on.
Yeah,
And
great feeling though. Great to be there.
I
Great to be in
know
one of those.
it's a great atmosphere
Box
to
Park.
be. It's
Yeah,
a
it's
great
brilliant.
atmosphere to be in,
And it
especially.
will lift the country, won't it? If we do win this, it will lift the country at a time maybe we need to be lifted.
Yeah.
We've had a pretty wet summer, pretty wet spring, like I think much of Europe has as well. And obviously obviously a wretched general election to throw in as well. So I
Yeah.
think if England win, a bit like when the women, excuse me, won theirs 2 or 3 years ago, there's a real uplift of spirit in people. You know, you start to see the flags around and so on. So yes, if we win tonight, I will probably put a flag on my car. You know, just in the hope and belief we can win the final.
Yeah. So here's something that I just thought about, Trevor. Do you think that if eventually when we win this tournament, the trophy, the trophy, do you think that do you think that we would then have managers adopting Gareth's strategy, for instance, or his style, for instance, because obviously he got England results. So, do you think we'll would see that?
No, I don't actually.
No.
If traditionally you go back a few years of the World Cup and the Euros, there are usually some innovations. I mean, I think last time, whether it was the Euros or World Cup, I think the last World Cup for the men,
Yeah.
the refs were sort of adding on between 7 and 10 minutes at the end of the game. They sort of almost totted up every kind of gap, as well as the substitutes and goal celebrations, and that then happened in our Premier League and other league, all of our leagues really, last year and the one before, where you suddenly found refs were putting on 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes, which weren't always apparently justified. You thought, well, where did that come from? But this time they seem to have gone the other way, and they're doing 2, 3, 4 minutes, which is what it used to be. And I
Mm.
suspect that will be picked up here in England again and Scotland and so on next season. But as for the football, I think it seems to me around the world, football now has eventually come to that point where most teams play exactly the same sort of football. Yes, some will dominate on defensive tactics, but still have the attack, and some will dominate and prefer the attacking option. But I don't see anything as a new move in football, a new tactic that's likely to take off. Indeed, I would have to say, I think the lack of really class players doing something a bit magical like Messi did in the last World Cup with a couple of his goals. There's been no one, to my mind, who stood out. Even Ronaldo, I think, is clearly, I don't mean well past it in an unpleasant way, but age-wise, I think he's 39 or 40 now, which in the footballers, in those terms, that's too old. He really didn't do anything. It's the first series, international series, he hasn't scored in, and he's been in about six of them, I think. So yeah, I don't see anything that's happened that people will try to emulate here, either individually or as a team. I certainly don't think, even if we win it, I don't think a lot of our managers are going to say, right, we better get predominantly defensive because that's the way to win things. I don't think it is.
Yeah.
But there
But
we are.
don't you think it's been a defensive tournament? Because there hasn't been that much goals in this tournament,
No.
as you know. So it's like everybody, it seems to be the science of these particular Euros that, we sit back and draw them out. And if we can't, we sit back a little bit more and just hope that they come out and then we can score. There seemed to be no concerted effort to, you know, do an all-out attack and get the
No.
goal. So isn't that what don't you think it's already in play, this sort of strategy? Don't you think it's already the order of the
Yeah, I
game?
mean, as you say, whether that's a scientific approach, I don't know. But I think with managers, international managers or club managers, the great fear is losing. You
Yeah.
know, you you go out there and you play not to lose sometimes rather than play to win. And I
Right.
think that's Gareth's strategy. He goes out there, sets the team up to give the best chance of not losing. And then if you can get a goal on the break, then you get a goal